Welcome back, Johtonians, to the JOHTO Press. In the past 2 weeks, we have had a bunch of new information on Pokemon Sun and Moon. As you guys already know, the Alolan forms, new Pokemon. But today I'm going to be talking about the CoroCoro Leaks that just leaked last evening. So first, let's talk about this new Sand Castle Pokemon. The Sandcastle Pokemon, the small one, the first one is called Tsunaba, while the big one is called Shirodesuna. Now it is a ghost and ground type, which is pretty cool. I really like the design of this Pokemon. The Sandcastle, I don't know why we haven't had a Sandcastle Pokemon before, but it's perfect to the Alola region. It's quite evil, as you guys can see on the far right. You could tell that it's trying to swallow up some Pikachus, which is pretty scary. Would not want to be walking around the beach and be swallowed up by this thing, but it's pretty cool. I think its typing is pretty interesting. The only other typing of this Pokemon similar to this Pokemon is Gorlick. But Gorlick was super slow, so hopefully Tsunabe and Shirodesuna have more competitive play. Now moving on to Beware. Beware actually has a pre-evolution. A lot of people thought that this Pokemon would be a standalone Pokemon. Its pre-evolution is called Nikuguma, and it still remains normal in fighting. So that hasn't changed, but it's pretty adorable. But yeah, and it even has some little art showing how it would fight off enemies, which is pretty awesome. Now let's move on to a Pokemon that I really liked from what has been revealed. It's I believe it's called Washibi. Let me double check. I don't want to give you the wrong information. No, it's called Yowashi, which is a water type, and it has this cool new ability which allows it to change forms or its appearance from a large to a bigger large fish. It kind of reminds me of remora fish that attach to bigger fish, or a school of fish. So it's not a new evolution, which I initially thought, but it's actually changes its form where more fish group together to make it a little bit more menacing. It's still unknown what this ability or appearance change does for it. If I had to speculate, perhaps it becomes a little bit more bulky because of how big it is, maybe more defensive, but we'll see how that works for it. Once it comes out. Now moving on to more Alolan forms, we finally got the Marowak Alolan form, which everyone was speculating because of Kiwei, one of the trial captains who specializes in fire type Pokemon, and it was in the description. It said that he has a Marowak, and people put two and two together. Well, if he's a fire specialist and he has a Marowak, we most likely will get a fire Alolan form for Marowak, which came to be. Now the interesting thing is, I thought it was going to be fire ground, but it's actually fire ghost. So the new form, Alolan form for Marowak, is fire ghost, which is pretty awesome. So it's up there with Chandelure. It's pretty cool. We'll see how it works out. I mean, Marowak can already learn fire moves, but it'd be interesting to see what new ghost type moves are introduced that it can learn, or kind of look at some of the ghost type attacks that are already available and see how it could work with its stats, which is something that looking forward to see. I don't know if these Alolan forms would actually change the Pokemon's base stats. I mean, technically it's just a new form, but if it's technically a new Pokemon, maybe the base stats will change for some of these Alolan forms. Now let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, of course, Meowth. We have the dark type Meowth, which is its new Alolan form. Pretty excited about that. Seeing a dark type Persian. I think it has access to a lot of dark type moves, but it never got that stab since it's always just remained normal. So hopefully this will help it out competitively to give it that stab and that boost that it also needs. Moving on to what I have been excited to hear about is the evil team. So the evil team is called Team Skull, which is just so perfect to the region. Pretty cool. We have now the boss is called Guzma and the girl is called Plumeri. Now I really liked the designs of these evil teams. It's so different from previous teams. You know, previous teams seem to be more, they seem to have this look to them where they're very corporate and just very serious, which is obviously it's an evil team, but I kind of really liked this grunge look to this team. Kind of really sets the tone, that rough looking theme to them, like, oh yeah, you know, these are the bad guys, versus, you know, the other previous teams look like, oh, I'm gonna fight you know, Big Brother or whatnot. They remind me a little bit of like Team Aqua and Team Magma, a little bit more of Team Aqua because they had more of a rough look to them versus Team Magma, who looked more corporate in their looks. But yeah, I really like the new team. I really like the look of the skulls on their actual customization of their clothes, which is pretty cool. And lastly, let's move on to the secret of Rockruff. Now, it was teased to us previously that Rockruff and the starters had this secret to them. They all shared the secret, and we now know that Rockruff, there's a secret evolution, or there's some way, something special about its evolution. And this kind of validates some of these quote-unquote leaks or Chinese leaks that have been discussed by many other Poketubers, that the starters will have more than one final evolution. And since Rockruff has secret evolutions, the word secret evolutions, most likely it will come true for these final evolutions for the starters. Now, for me, people are speculating multiple evolutions. Yes, I do believe there will be multiple evolutions for the starters, but I don't think there's gonna be like 4 or 5, which I get the sense people are thinking there will be. I feel like there will probably be a 2 ways or 2 different evolutions, one sun final starter evolution and one moon final evolution for each of the starters. So you'll have Rowlet. Rowlet would have its own final evolution in Sun and its own final evolution in Moon, and so forth for the rest of the starters, which is what I think is what they mean by mini evolutions. But yeah, that's all the news we've gotten today. Next, they say that Rockruff, they just kind of teased about Rockruff, and that they will be revealing a big scoop on Rockruff, which will kind of perhaps inform us a little bit about what we can expect for the starters. Hoping to getting cool more designs. I really like the designs that are coming out from what has been revealed. So other than that, thank you for watching, Johtonians, and this Polytoad is out.